It's Elko Live Time here on KELK. Thank you so much, listeners, for joining us today. We're going to get our update in advance of the regular Elko County Commission meeting. A lot on the agenda today, and we welcome Brian Gale in studio. And Brian is our Elko County Commissioner in District 1. So, Brian, it's a pleasure to see you. It's been a few weeks, and we always appreciate catching up with you. So thank you.
Hello, Lori. I'm happy to be here.
So we will choose some items, obviously, from the agenda, a lot of housekeeping here. It's kind of a busy one because it's been a summer season. But first of all, just wanted to say, happy fair time. I noticed registration's open for entering branding competitions and things like that. And Brian, you're an active rancher, and so I thought it'd be nice if you gave us kind of an update. I mean, how are things out on the ranch this time of year?
Well, right before, so I'm mostly concerned with the livestock show and sale, and concerned with it. That's mostly what I think of as fair. I don't think of the carnival, but so the kids, you can see them often out washing their animals and spending some time with it. It takes quite a bit to get one of those animals to behave like you want it to. So they're putting the finishing touches on it right now. It's a pretty exciting time of year.
The 2025 Elko County Livestock Sale is set for August 31st, 9:30 a.m. at the Elko County Fairgrounds, and you can buy local, have the confidence of knowing that this is a locally raised animal, fill your freezer with really top quality meat, and you are also helping to support a livestock sale youngster. It used to be 4-H, and that's hard for me to abandon that, Brian. But Elko County livestock student who has raised this animal, and often they raise them too. They're not all market animals. Sometimes they've got their own little business going, right, Brian?
Yes, right. Well, it's an investment for the kids, for their parents. They spend a lot of time and get the thing. Well, first, most importantly for you, if you're buying it, they're putting a lot of intermuscular fat in there to make it tasty. And then of course, there's competition for fitting and showing, and so they have to get them so they'll look like they're housebroken almost.
Yeah, that's why when you go to the fair and you take your youngsters, you'll see the sheep, and their wool is just glistening. It's just practically snowy white, and you'll see cow-calf pairs, and you'll see the steers, of course. They're headed directly to market. And, it's an exciting time, and it really is a culmination of a lot of work on the ranch, throughout the year. So pick up a brochure from your local rancher, or Kim McKnight has more information. Obviously, she's on the show and sale committee, I believe, and you can support the Elko County Livestock Sale at the fair this year. So, did you do that when you were growing up?
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you have any ribbons?
I don't know if I still have the ribbons, but yeah, I started out in sheep, and then in high school I was showing hogs. Hogs are not allowed on our ranch right now, but I really enjoyed the time.
I do know someone who has raised hogs out in the Independence Valley, the Wright Ranch, and the hardest thing about it, and you can ask Jordan, but they've got some personalities, those hogs do, so yeah.
Yeah, they are. I gave them all a name.
Oh, of course.
Some of those names I can't repeat.
Of course, like Tasty and things like that. But so I know we're going to get into some county business, obviously, right away too, but appreciate the chance to just catch up with you and again find out, because we are heading into fair time, the Elko County Fair and Livestock Show. So the county commissioners will meet at 1:30 this afternoon in regular session, and Brian, among the various agenda items, and we're going to skip around somewhat, I guess, just because there's a lot on the agenda today. And I want to make sure we're talking about what you want to talk about, obviously. The Great Basin Transmission LLC is proposing their high voltage transmission line that should increase capacity for renewable energy and should improve grid reliability. And the commissioners had expressed support for this in the past, and now they're looking for another resolution, right?
Yes, right. This project has been in the works for about 40 years, excuse me. It runs from Robinson Summit substation in White Pine County clear up to Jerome County, and there's about 177 miles, I think, of this transmission line in Elko County. I talked with Thad Ballard of Wells Rural Electric Company, and he says we need more transmission lines. And I imagine, but the only concern that I've had expressed to me is the idea that if we have this much bigger transmission line that can handle a lot more electricity, the next step might be to establish a solar farm. And though solar is technically considered a green energy source, it is absolutely not green to the ground that it's standing on. So I've had ranchers express the concern to me that, well, if they put a solar farm there, because this transmission line can handle more. So, and what is just desert, right? There's nothing growing there. Well, there is quite a bit of life growing there.
Ecosystem, yes.
Yeah. And so if they were to put up something like that, it just kills the ground. There's just no more life underneath those. And besides that, they don't want life, and so I don't know, but I assume they'll keep them sprayed and kill everything that's there. So that kills, all the little plants. It kills the little critters that live off the little plants. I mean, besides the cows. So just not. The people I talk to are not super excited about large-scale solar farms. And so that's the only concern with the transmission line. Other than that, yeah, we need more transmission. We need more power transmission.
So good to get that on the record. Obviously, Brian's done his homework, talking to his neighbors and his district, and then also Wells Rural Electric Company about what those reality, what the needs are. Also on the agenda, I tried to research this a little bit too, just because it was interesting and I thought it was unusual for a county agenda. You're going to get a presentation. It's a non-action item, but from something known as Goldfinch Health, and they have a proposed program to reduce opioid use to improve surgical care outcomes. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, right. I think it's fantastic. So the main concern there that they're trying to address, they have a program called the Billion Pill Club or something. I don't know. They're trying to get 1 billion pills.
Billion Pill Pledge Program.
Billion, yes, like you said.
All right.
They're trying to empty out people's medicine cabinets of opioids. So how often does it happen that you go through surgery and you get a prescription and you use a couple of them and then leave the rest in there? That's fine for you, but society as a whole, all of these pills aren't staying in the cabinet. They're getting other people hooked. They're disappearing, air quotes, and they're getting other people started on opium. Well, the problem isn't starting on opium, and the problem isn't the opium itself, the opioids itself. The problem is, when you can't get a prescription from your doctor, now you have to go to the street and you don't know what's in the stuff. And that's what they're trying to avoid. So to me, it looks like a pretty good program, or at least a good endeavor to try to get people off of that opioids, and to try other methods for pain management. And even one of the things they talk about is a drink that you would take before your surgery. I don't know what that means. I'm not super familiar with it, but I'm glad it's being addressed, because we're not, so too often it happens that the government is trying to protect the people, from their own idiocy. Like the government knows best. I don't know. This is a non-action item, so it's not like we're gonna pass a legislation that says you can't have spare opioids in your medicine cabinet. But this program is trying to address an issue that nationally is very serious.
Brian Gale is our county commissioner. Again, that is an agenda item, just a presentation, no action taken. And thanks for explaining a little background on that. It is interesting, and maybe something the health board might consider too. They only meet quarterly, so I can see why this has probably popped up on your agenda. So then if we just, like I said, we're kind of gliding through the agenda just because there are a few meatier things to look at. I thought it was interesting that there is consideration of an agreement. Summit Raceway needs additional time. I think the goal is for them to relocate, Brian, but it takes resources to do that.
This is an item that I'm not super familiar with, so I look forward to learning more about it.
And that's on the agenda as well. And then under, let's see, item K. Oh, here's one that's also interesting because we hear so much about affordable housing, right? In Nevada and in Elko County, this is kind of a pilot project. This is a development agreement between Elko County and what's known as Summit Edge Development for the Jackpot Affordable Housing Project. And the county does have a little buy-in on this one.
Yes, the county has provided land for Summit Edge to come in and develop. And I don't know, there's multiple steps involved here, and this is just one of among many. But Summit Edge is a group of investors who are willing to put up housing in an area that is very not very well served. So hopefully, if they can build this development and put up some of the housing, then people will have to travel less. You know, the employees who work in Jackpot daily won't have to come all the way from Twin Falls, which many of them do right now. And then, you know, to be able to, if you don't have to travel that far, maybe you're more willing to actually invest in a home rather than just rent. I don't know. It's a really good idea, and I'm super pleased that Summit Edge is willing to pursue this.
And again, as I was looking at it too, Brian, it seems like it could be a good model or a pilot project because we understand this is such a huge need, affordable housing, quality housing, addressing local housing and long-term community development at the same time. Within the draft agreement, and again, this is just for possible action, I think there'll be a lot of discussion on it today, Brian, but there is an investment, I believe, by the county, or at least an agreement of about $500,000 for infrastructure. And it wasn't clear if that might be in kind or actual expenditure.
Yeah, so it's my understanding that this will be like blade work and stuff to move the dirt around, and I don't know, there might be some engineering. I'm not exactly sure what that'll be, but the county is not writing a check for $500,000 to put in Summit Edge's pocket.
And it was smart, too, because as you suggested, I think at the beginning of the discussion, the county did help facilitate the land that was needed because so many of these small communities are literally landlocked by the public land agencies, mostly the BLM, and it can take years to get those lands into local hands. So that'll be up for discussion today, Brian, obviously. And then moving on to I did have highlighted on my agenda the Fire Protection District because this is out in your neighborhood, approving extension of the Death Volunteer Fire Department's infrastructure grant. And it's about $50,000 to fund the complete remaining scope of the project, installing the well and paint and inventory. You guys feeling pretty good about?
Yes, so Death was... or the Death Volunteer Fire Department was granted $500,000 to put up a new fire station. There's been many of these grants made around the county, and it looks like for one reason or another, they've delayed. I don't know whose fault it is, but the prices of everything have gone up. Imagine that. And so now they're looking for another 10%. I've got some questions to ask some people about that. But anyways, it would be nice to have, it will be nice to have better facilities sprinkled throughout the county. And we're getting one in Ruby Valley, and construction on that starts here in the next very short while.
Oh, you have to be really excited about that. Ruby Valley has always had a legacy involvement in the fire department. I mean, obviously for interest for reasons, because there was just no fire crew that was going to respond. You had to do it yourself. So it's nice to get some support now.
Yeah, it is really nice. And it is, Matt Peterson has done a fantastic job of keeping our equipment usable. And I mean, I've been on equipment that didn't always do what you wanted it to do. And it's really nice that everything is you can count on it, because, when you're in the middle of the fire is not a time to be mechanicking on a truck.
Absolutely. And that puts people's, not just their property, but certainly lives in jeopardy as well. So great investment. Again, as you discussed, over budget. Going to ask some questions about this. The interlocal contract with Division of Forestry for the Wildland Fire Protection Program is also coming in and for discussion. And that budget is $812,000. So that, if I understand that right, Brian, is that what the county contributes?
Yeah, I haven't been able to get with Matt on that. He's kind of busy right now. I haven't been able to get with Matt on that and have a little bit better understanding of what's going on. So there will be some questions asked during the meeting.
That sounds good. Elko County. Oh, this one. Let's see. Oh, no. I'm moving over to social services. This is the one that I had to read and reread. Went back, tried to find the attachments. There is an amendment to the interlocal contract for Medicaid services. Just like affordable housing, healthcare is also a huge national issue right now. So what can you tell us about this and maybe what Elko County is being asked to do?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm relatively ignorant as why the contract amount has to go from less than $3 million to over $4 million. I mean, an increase of what would that be, 33%. Yes, there's a lot of things that I don't know yet, and this is one of them. I guess we'll see how this comes out.
Yeah, that should be some healthy discussion over Medicaid, no pun intended, but Elko County participates in an interlocal contract with the state of Nevada supporting Medicaid. Medicaid provides medical assistance to eligible people based on financial and medical criteria. Under this agreement, the state, through the Division of Healthcare Financing and Policy, provides the administrative services to implement the program. The county provides the non-federal share of associated medical, administrative, and transactional costs. And again, that's over $1 million that the county would have to find in the budget if this agreement were approved. And if not, then do we have citizens who go without?
Yeah, no. Listen, Lori, we're not going to let anybody die because the county isn't willing to pony up anything. But I don't know how this will play out.
Thank you for obviously letting us know what you know on the issue, Brian. And it's one that I'm sure many, many agendas in many communities, large and small, are having to deal with similar issues. Let's see. Here's one that's really fascinating. I'm really curious to know what you found out. Under Elko County facilities, here is discussion and consideration for possible action to approve a proposal from HA Architects for $15,000 for professional services. This would be a feasibility study to evaluate the Wells Fargo building as a potential facility for Elko County use.
Yeah. Right. So Elko County has need of expansion. I mean, our courthouse is beautiful and it's historic, but at some point it's no longer as serviceable as perhaps it once was, and there's safety issues there. And so we are looking at, we have been looking at some kind of facility for, you call it the courts.
Oh, for the court
Justice.
facility. Oh, the Justice Center.
That's what my understanding is. We have not looked yet at the Wells Fargo building, but this proposal from HA Architects will go in and see how the building is, see if it's something that we could actually use to house our justice facility, because that would be considerably, it should be considerably cheaper, and it should be more responsible to use an existing healthy building like that rather than tear down something and just build more. we do like employment in Elko, but we're not going to fill up holes just to dig them again.
Brian Gale is our guest today. He's County Commissioner in District 1. That is one of the agenda items. A little farther down the agenda, the study that we were just talking about would assess the Wells Fargo building's overall condition, the functionality of the space, the code compliance, potential renovation or adaptation to meet the county's operational needs. And then the findings, that's what the County Commission would use to make an informed decision regarding the sustainability of the facility. And not being cheeky at all, but I mean, do they know, or do you guys know that SWAT team's been using that as a training inside? I mean, I think they've had a lot going on in there.
Yeah. Well, the SWAT team hasn't burned the building down.
As far as we know, on the outside anyway. Yeah.
I'm sure there will be very little change in the building we can replace doors pretty cheaply compared to building a new building.
Well, let's hope so then. Yeah, because yes. So, and if nothing else, I mean, it might make a good site for a justice center, as you said, if you had to replace the building. So
I believe that's the direction we're thinking. However, this is the very first step.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Thanks, Brian, because again, that piques a lot of interest because Elko County already has quite a bit of, shall we say, oceanfront property here in Elko City with the Idaho Street holdings, right? So kind of waiting to see what happens with those, the old Wright building.
Yes, right.
Yes, so, but money is the issue.
As always, and hopefully reusing a building like this will save tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars.
Mm-hmm. So the last time I was into the county offices, it's been a few weeks now, I think I talked with Susan Paprocki, and I think she's getting ready to retire. So that's going to, yeah.
Say it ain't so.
Well, maybe she's just considering a long vacation, but
maybe we'll pass a resolution that disables her ability to retire.
But in all seriousness, though, this is a crucial time for the county, right? You're still trying to figure out where's the leak in sales and use tax collection, right? What's happening?
Yeah. Well, it's not just Elko County that's experiencing reduced funds from that. I just heard the other day that Las Vegas is down revenue from
millions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah, it's a good question. I haven't got the answer.
Still really, I guess, trying to get your arms around that, still circulating the question. The city's going through the same thing right now in the city of Elko. So it's sort of a drain, and nobody knows where to plug the leak and what's causing it because car sales people say they're still selling vehicles. You know, we've had some big projects happening in the community and county that should generate a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure in the time that we have that you get to either jump onto something on the agenda that we didn't mention, Brian.
Well, you hit most of the good ones that I'd like to talk about. That was real good. The only other issue that I have personal knowledge of is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has their temple going up, and they have an open house scheduled from August 30th to September 13th. Looks like you can pretty much just show up there any old time. There's no scheduled tours, but there are tours constantly, is my understanding. And now's your chance to see inside this beautiful new building that they have going up. Of course, after it's dedicated, then it will not be open to the public. And so now's a good chance to get that experience and see what goes on if you have no experience with the temples and learn a little bit about what they do there.
It's a beautiful building, and it is located at 2100 Ruby Vista Drive. And people should understand that even if you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there's still a level of temple worthiness that you achieve and maintain. So just because you're a church member does not mean that you immediately access the temple. So being able to tour this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right, Brian?
Certainly here, yes. There are temple open houses throughout the West regularly now, and throughout the world even. But now's your chance in Elko County to have a look-see.
And this really is a generational aspiration, isn't it, to have an LDS temple in Elko? Yeah,
this was quite a surprise when they announced it. Quite a surprise.
We have generations of families, including many of them, friends and neighbors. I mean, if not yourself, I'm not making any assumptions, Brian, but generations of families who moved, settled in the Elko County region and, practiced their faith and really hoped for a day like this.
Yeah, well, as a kid, I felt pretty blessed because it was only about a 4-hour drive to Seattle from where I grew up to go to the temple. Then in 2000, they announced that they would build one 15 minutes from my folks' place in the Tri-Cities, Washington. And I was absolutely overcome. And that temple immediately was filled, just absolutely filled to the gills. And so now in that area, there's one in Richland, and now there's one in Moses Lake, which is, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half away. So to have a temple so close, and for us, Twin Falls, at least from Wells, Twin Falls is less than 2 hours. That's fantastic. Some people are able to go to the temple once in their life and have to travel for days to get there, but no longer. And now we have one here in Elko. It's fantastic.
Well, Brian, thank you for again, telling us about the significance of the temple. I think at last, and there may be many more, so forgive me for not having that current information, but I think there are at least 6,000 LDS faithful in the Elko County community area. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Could be more, right? Could be. But the point is that this is, as Brian just described, this is attracts people from all around the region. Winnemucca faithful, people from Ely, anywhere in northern or rural Nevada, certainly. And there are people who visit temples around the country or even around the world. They put that on a list. So it becomes an economic value to a community, doesn't it? Just to be practical.
Yes. Very. Next thing, after we get the temple and people are coming, then we'll have to get a Costco too. That should be right next to the temple.
Well, I think there are a couple of parcels available, so I don't think the car wash is going up there anymore, according to the sign I saw. So, Brian, thank you. We always get to a lot of different topics when we get to visit with you. Again, you're a working rancher, and so your perspective is important on the commission and to the radio show. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm happy to come in, Lori. I'm happy to spend the time with you and talk about these things.
Thank you. Brian Gale is our county commissioner in District 1. County Commission meets in regular session at 1:30 this afternoon. You can be there in person or you can follow along online, elkocountynv.net. Thank you, listeners, for joining us today.